Ha.
We made it.
Ha.
The devil said we weren't going to make it, and we made it. It's like, we made it.
Ha. That's right.
The devil is a liar. He's a big, fat, ugly, little tiny chicken leg liar.
Yes, this is
I
true.
really think the scripture says that the day is going to come when we're going to look and go, wait, we're going to look at the deceiver and go, he's the one that we allowed to deceive us. And I think he has little tiny chicken legs, little tiny chicken legs, and he has little tiny arms. But he's got a big beak. Right? He's got a big beak. He knows how to flap, 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 flap. He's a liar, guys. He's a capital L-I, capital I-A-R, liar. And you know what? Liar, liar, pants on fire. Liars go to the lake. That's what the Bible says. Liars go to the lake. So that liar that's lying and deceiving and cheating and trying to make you, he said you weren't going to make it. You made it. You made it. You made it.
Yep.
Okay, devil is a liar. Come on. Come on. So good to be here with you. Hi, Dr. Nelson. You know what? I kind of feel like we need to applaud Dr. Nelson. I'm going to mute you for just a minute. We've got two folks coming on the show. I'm really, really excited. But guys, I'm going to go Jedi just for a minute on Dr. Nelson. Every single day, that's Dr. Krissy Nelson here. I'm going to go Jedi a little bit because every day I'm really amazed at what she does here at Unlocking Your Book and what she does in our organization. She is a Jedi extraordinaire. And my wife and I, like all this week, we've just been really like talking and thinking about, we're getting ready to celebrate our 27-year anniversary tomorrow. So, there's a lot of history. And we're talking about our past. We're talking about our present, our future. Our kids are growing up. Significant others are starting to happen. I mean, we're in just a different dynamic of life. And so this week we were just like, man, Lord, thank you for the amazing people that you have brought into our life. And Krissy, you were one of those. Absolutely one of those. And when we have our team meetings and we're looking at everything, I'm like, man, God, you brought people smarter than me. Yeah, not that, well, I don't know if that's really that great. But anyway, you surrounded me with people that are smarter than me and can do a better job than me. So I'm just feeling really grateful. I'm excited. I'm not just on the high that tomorrow is 27 years of marriage, but I'm also on the high that the devil is a liar, and that God is faithful, and we're thankful. And I really am amazed every time we have our meetings. I'm like, wow, Krissy's like a Jedi. She's like a full-on Jedi. It's good stuff. So anyway, appreciate you, man, lady, Krissy.
Well, gee, thanks. I don't quite know what Jedi means, but it sounds good. I like the idea of Jedi. If it's anything like, a Jedi. If it's anything like a ninja,
Krissy,
I could get on board with this.
You're gonna ruin this. You're gonna mess this up really bad. Okay. I just like.
Hold on. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you so much.
That's right.
No, I do. I just anyway.
You're going to get hate mail now because you don't know what a Jedi is. Oh, Lord, what are we going to do with this generation? I'm just kidding. It's all good.
Oh, but thank you. I love being a part of everything. I'm humbled. I feel like I'm surrounded by people smarter than me. So, hey, we got some really smart people all around us, I think.
And we have a great group of writers that are a part of Unlocking Your Book community. And we're so pumped that we get to have just a couple and we want of them with us today. But we want to, before we get to them, and I think we're going to, are we going to Artie or are we going to Sharon first? Who are we going to first?
Let's go to Ari. I gotta say it right. Artie first.
Okay, we're going to go Artie first. So I actually know Artie from John Maxwell. She's a John Maxwell coach. I think, man, I could be totally blowing this, but she's a John Maxwell coach. But we want to encourage you to go to themessengerlife.com and check it out and see if you're a good fit, because this is what we're all about. We're all about God has called you to write a book. We're going to help you. We're going to help you with step-by-step guidance so that you can unlock that message, remove the confusion, and publish a book that people will buy and read. We want to help you do that. So we want to invite you to come to the Messenger Life. It's a free Facebook community. Come on in. The water's just fine. Let's go to Artie. Here we go. Right back in 30 seconds. I can't believe you don't know what a Jedi is. And we're back. We're back. Hi, Artie. How are you?
I am doing really well, Jeremiah and Krissy. How are you?
Oh,
we're really blessed. We're really blessed. Two things. Number one, before we get started, do you know what a Jedi is?
I'm not a Star Wars fan. I'm not a movie person, but I said that I've offended a lot of people. I'm sorry, but my family is. I'm probably a Star Wars widow. So.
Okay, that's okay. You're not in trouble. Krissy's in trouble.
I am. Apparently, I'm in trouble. Apparently, it's okay for you because
you made me
love you.
You made me look really bad on the live show. But Artie, now you're a John Maxwell coach, right?
I am. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. All right. That's what. Yeah. So I did the John Maxwell coach thing 5 years, maybe 6 years ago, and so I met a lot of really wonderful people, and that's where I recognize Artie from first. So thank you so much for being on the show, Krissy. I'm going to turn it over to you guys, and let's rock and roll. And just listen. All is forgiven under the blood. The whole Jedi Star Wars. It's all
good. Okay, yeah. That makes me feel good. Thank you.
Well, I see that you are pitching your book to us today, and
That's
you
right.
are writing or have written a nonfiction book targeting women. And when we asked you what you hope to get out of your time on the show today, which is obviously pitching your book, creating some awareness and getting some traction. So we hope that we can help you accomplish just that. And
sounds good.
Why don't you go ahead and pitch your book?
Sure. So firstly, thank you so much, because God had placed this on my heart probably about 7-8 years ago to write my story. The best way I describe my story now, I'm a runner, so I say my life has been an ultra marathon. So I've just had just a lot of crazy adventures, experiences. A lot of it was self-inflicted. I made some choices that I'm really not very proud of. But just a really short, 30-second overview of my life. So I grew up in India. I grew up in a Hindu family, but for some reason, I went to a Christian school. So I had my first encounters with Jesus as a child. And I kind of gave my life to Jesus when I was really little, not knowing a lot. But then years later, I fell away. I kind of went, just did some things that I wasn't very proud of. I had my first son when I was 16. And yeah, just really had a lot of experiences that weren't the best. And then I really hit rock bottom in depression when I was 33. And that's when I met Jesus. And my life just was completely transformed. And then I was really called to write, and it was like, gosh, I've got so much on my mind. I could write like 10 books in my life. What am I going to write? And so thank you. So I think having the mentoring and the coaching from this group has really helped solidify that message. And then really, I think one of the things was in the initial phases when you said, just really sit with the Lord. And he just opened up this framework. It was like, okay, the way that I was able to bring out, and I've, my book is I'm sort of still writing, but I've got the whole, I'm sort of really writing it. I've written it, but I'm now sort of consolidating it the way God has asked me to. But it's really about when I look back in my life, and I was, as I said, one of the things is as a child, I was sexually molested in India by a male servant. And that was a time I feel like the devil robbed me of my identity. But I didn't know that, I didn't know that that was what kind of was the root of my issues. But then as I look back, I was like, okay, I can go back to every decision that I made. And I know that I made it because I was operating out of a false identity, because I was wearing a lens that was deceptive. You spoke about the devil being a liar, but he literally had me with these different shades, these different lenses. And every time I saw myself out of a lens of guilt or lens of fear, and it almost is like he first gives you that lens to where you make that first wrong choice. Then he gives you the guilt lens and covers it, and then it becomes condemnation, and then it becomes fear, self-judgment. Then you become the victim, then you become the martyr. So it's like, so then I was like, okay, so that's kind of the overview. And my goal with the book is really sitting with Jesus and what is Jesus's lens of me, which is the only true identity. When I sit with him and I have an ABC framework that I will take my readers through and applying that, and it's a book that will, I'm sure, bring, and I'm calling it the robust woman. I want that woman to be rooted in their identity in Christ. The word robust comes from the word rooted. And it's when you're sitting with the Lord and you see yourself the way he sees you, which is the only true lens, no matter what faith you are, once you know Jesus and you have that experience, I think it's going to just be, that's when you're just going to live and be everything that God has called you to be.
Yeah.
Wow. This just sounds it sounds so rich. Thank you for writing what you're writing. You're so clear, and I mean, you described the framework that the Lord gave you while sitting with him, and that's evident in your delivery, just sharing about your book and what you're writing. And I can see those lenses. I see it as you describe it. There's such an anointing for you to describe exactly what the problem was. The enemy, he put these lenses, and then that one, and each one led to the next. And then what is Jesus's lens? You sit with him and you ask him. And I really wanted to just affirm what you're doing. You know, as a sister, as a target reader, you know, I fall right into that category, and I'm going, I would want that even right now. I feel like what you're writing is for women at any stage in their, you know, walk with the Lord, pre-walk with the Lord, any of it, you know. I need that. We all need that every day. I need to sit with Jesus today, and I need to say, Jesus, how do you see me today? You know, so that I'm continually washing myself with the word, you know, like the word talks about. So I love it. I just say to you, you know, you're right on, you're hitting the target. And you clearly have that anointing to, because of your experience and your testimony. Are you going to use words in your book like ABC framework? Like, here's how we do. Are you going to approach it like that and break it down for people like that?
The book is really like, it's got, and I could do so many lenses, but I again, God's like, you do the 10 lenses now. So I'm doing the 10 lenses.
Wow.
It's got a, you know, every chapter will have a little bit of my own story and how I just totally had the wrong lens and made that terrible. Wow. And then it was also a story of transformation, but then I also call the readers on to workbook it. And my request is, get rid of the one lens before you go to the next chapter. Let's do some work. And the ABC framework is just getting my women to say, okay, I'm dealing with this now. We're getting that off, and then we'll deal with the next lens. So, because as I said, it's the devil's great at compounding things. He's great at deception, and he just keeps layering and layering. And so we've got to get to the bottom of that. So it's a workbook. So it's not an easy read because I'm being fairly brutal in the book, even about my own story. But I just, my goal here is I want the seeker to believe and to believe the truth. And I want the believer to find freedom. Oh.
Yeah. Now, Artie, you said workbook, which I love. Are you doing a book and then a workbook as a companion, or is the whole thing this workbook manual?
It's a book with a workbook after every chapter. Nice. It's and I have probably want to keep it at that, and maybe later I'm just thinking, as God places it on my heart, maybe to do like a workbook at some stage, just completely based on some freedom ministry training that I've taken some time back. So
you put a tremendous amount of time, prayer, thought, and investment into this, and I can tell because of the way that you're articulating and you're communicating. Are you planning to do any type of with the workbook, obviously there'll be activations because you're activating them as they're going through the workbook. Are you going to do any type of video, a digital course, or anything like that that will be as part of a bundle or an add-on, or have you thought about that? What are your thoughts?
Yes, so I'm actually starting. The book is going to be, again, God's placed it on my heart to start a movement called the Robust Women. And part of that is going to be for, just women like me who've been operating out of their false identity and just helping them to unravel the baggage and just operate and look at themselves as I said, as Christ does. So there will be a course, an online course that I'm building as well once the book is launched. And my goal is to just bring women who can then, the ultimate vision is I want every woman to then mentor another woman, possibly in a developing country. I would just love, that's my heart, but yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so important. I mean, people need to hear you. They need to see you, like we always say. And that right there is going to make a huge impact. And then it will lead people to get the manual, the book. Yeah, I'm just so excited you're doing this. You've got this very apostolic call on you to teach, train, equip, and send, and raising up leaders to lead others. And I love that direction that you're giving to mentor somebody in another country. I mean, that's world-changing stuff that you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you. All glory to God that he could take someone as broken as I was and even bring me to this stage in my life. So I'm very humbled. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt that like I would publish that book. I mean, that would be a ton of fun to be able to help unpack that and put that together and put it into a format that people would buy it and read it. What do you feel like is something that you really could use help in right now? How can we help you move that needle specifically? Because again, you've definitely clarified your message. You've clarified your target. You've got an objective and an outcome. So, you've got some things really well laid out, and it sounds like it's just a matter of putting in the work. What could be something that we could do to help you?
Yeah, so I think where I would probably require some help is around the pre-publishing and publishing stage. So once I have the actual, which as I said, I probably will have it. My target date is the 6th of October to complete the entire final manuscript. But after that, I just would like, some guidance on pre-publishing that phase as well as the publishing phase. That's probably where I'd like some support.
What are you doing right now to build your audience?
Yeah, that's a great question. I am planning to get on some YouTube. So I've just about created the Robust Woman, the branding and all of that. Put my online course up online as well, just building that. But what I'd like to do is to start doing maybe like a couple of YouTube lives, which will then be on the channel, and then start really speaking out this message that's in the book. But just giving the audience a taste for what that freedom would really look like, so they'll get on board.
That's going to be a big key for you, because people need to see your face and hear your voice. They need to see the messenger as you're giving the message. And I might even encourage you to potentially use the platform StreamYard.com if you're not already. And what you can do with StreamYard is you can simultaneously stream to YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. It doesn't have the ability to do to Instagram TV because it doesn't have that API connection yet. But you could later take that video and just curate it and repurpose it into Instagram TV through your Facebook page. But with StreamYard, you could simultaneously go to YouTube and Facebook Live all simultaneously, letting people know when you're going to do that. And as you're building that audience, you're solving problems in your videos. So whether you're doing a show or you're doing micro lessons or micro content, however you're developing that, you're going to be solving problems before you sell a product, and you're going to build that audience, and you're going to start the movement, and you won't have to actually work very hard at selling the book because you've already developed the following of people that you've been solving their problem. and it'll be so low hanging fruit. You'll be developing and creating your own low hanging fruit.
Perfect. And that's great advice. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, and keep us posted so that we can, we want to watch, we want to follow and stuff. Even though I can't be a robust woman, we still want to be a part of the process and share and, lean in with you and get behind you and definitely push. But very exciting, Artie. I'm really, really pumped. I'm really, really fired up for you. This is good. This is really good stuff. Looking forward to that.
Likewise. Thank you so much. And as I said, I could not have really done, it's there. God gives you, that message, which really well, but then life happens and you start putting it on hold. And then it just feels like once I was listening and really leaning into those, it just, okay, I could do it this way, right? So it's just like you're leaning into mentors, and that's great. So thank you both. And thank you to the entire team.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think we all feel so honored that you're a part of this community and that we were able to help someone like you, because I see you and I'm like, man, she's sharp. She's got it together. And I love that a key for you was sitting with the Lord, and then that unlocked this message. Just that key. I can even see it. I just see it all over your life. And I just wanted to articulate that to you. I see that presence all around you, where the Lord is, he's got you hidden under the shadow of his wing, and there's safety as you write and are vulnerable. And you share those, even gut-wrenching parts of your story. I just can see the presence of the Lord just hiding you under his wing and protecting you and guarding you as you write, so that you can share with transparency like you're doing. So keep going, keep doing it. And I'll be one of your intercessors. I'll be praying for you.
Thank you.
It needs to get out. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Artie. Appreciate it. Keep us posted. We want to be cheering you all the way through this process.
Yeah. Thank you both.
Yeah. Thank you. Bless you.
Bye.
Very cool. Wow. Awesome. Excited about even though I'm still excited about the robust woman. It's going to be great. Very excited. So now we're going to transition. But before we transition, everybody, make sure you connect with Artie and follow her on YouTube and Facebook so that you can be a part of her story as it's unfolding and the launching of her book and the publishing of her book to be coming out this fall. So join her. Now we've got Sharon Swain that is coming on next, and not exactly sure what our conversation is going to look like. But this I do know. This thing I do know. I know that Sharon is in editing. She's one of our publishing members. She's in editing, and I think she's like literally just a few days away from getting her completed, edited manuscript back from her editor. So stay tuned. Return of the Jedi. Oh, yeah, we're back. We're all here. Everyone's here. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Krissy. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Sharon. How are you
today?
How
are you? Hi, Krissy. How are you? Y'all doing okay?
Yes, we're doing good. We're doing really good.
Wasn't that great to hear, Artie? That was just such a blessing. We just really want to support her and push her forward. It's pretty encouraging.
Yes. Absolutely.
Amen.
And we're encouraged about your story because Krissy, don't do the thing. But rub-a-dub-dub, rub-a-dub-dub, here you are. You're just, I think it's like next week or something really, really soon. Your poem, right? You have a book on poetry.
I do.
It's going to be finished up next week. So, woohoo, way to go.
I think it's supposed to be done tomorrow.
There you go. See, she knows better than I do. She knows. That's great. That's fantastic. Are you a little bit excited?
I'm really, really pumped. Yeah. I just love everybody on this show, and it's just been the biggest blessing in my life. Because, I'd like to share a little bit about my testimony, if I could. I promise not to be long. 20 years ago, I was in a lot of turmoil and pain and condemnation and guilt and shame, you know, like what we go through, and getting all my source from the world, and I was really not in the Word a lot right then. But I left a job, and I had a lot of time on my hands, and I started writing. And I didn't know I could write. I was raised on a farm in Kansas, and I had apparently been given a gift, and I didn't even know I had it. And I don't know if I was born with it or if it just showed up. But anyway, I was raised on a farm, and so I started writing about the farm life and fishing and daydreaming and wishing, and just stories about my family. And I've written a lot of poetry that's just kind of silly and kind of fun, but now I write Christian poetry. But I still write some fun stuff too. But this is fun, of course. But anyway, so to make a long story short, I would sit in my bedroom, and I would write. And I thought it was just for Jesus and me. And I'd put my hands up in the air, and I'd praise the Lord, and I'd say, Lord, I think you're downloading something, you know. And I would have a poem, and I'd sit there and I'd cry afterwards because I knew it was from God, because it was so powerful. And so that's kind of been the way my life has been. And I had a friend that really believed in what God was doing in my life. And so she decided that, you know, you really do need to get a book out there. And so she encouraged me to publish a book. And it was self-published a couple years ago. I probably sold maybe 400 books, the low-hanging fruit. And but yet God did a great work in some lives as a result of it, because it was real raw stuff coming out of not feeling that I was enough, and coming into, if you don't feel like you're enough, you feel separate from Christ. And so even though I knew the Lord, I felt separate, and I didn't get the memo, I guess, that I thought that I was supposed to live this Christian life all by myself. And took me a while to figure all that out. But now my message is Christ in me, the hope of glory. And if we can get that message with the grace message, it's powerful in people's lives. It takes the pressure off. There's freedom and there's joy. And it's a whole different way of life. And so anyway, that's kind of my story. God's done an amazing work. And so in the last year, actually it's turned into be a year and a half, because of being on the program, God has given me many more poems. But I'll just sit with him, and it's been my journey with him. And as I walk my journey, that's what he does in my life. I've always got a poem. I'm sure my husband's like, oh no, I have to listen to another poem, you know. But I'm just kind of walking poetry. And
that's awesome.
but I asked the Lord today what he wanted me to share. And Mark 4 came to my mind. God pointed me to Mark 4 about the parables. And he spoke to my heart, and he said, my child, these poems I gave to you were like parables between you and me. I will pour out revelation and hidden treasures to the reader as well. So I've heard his heartbeat, and I've heard his voice over this last year and a half. And it's sweet, and it makes me cry. It's so real. And I want everybody, the title of my book will be All My Desire, and Out of the Darkness into his marvelous light. So I want people to come out of living for God and coming into letting him live through you, because there's a huge, huge difference. If people would just get that message, and out of feeling separate and not enough to feeling one with him, because we really are. We just don't get the memo. We just don't get it. That we think we come to Christ and we try to live it all by ourselves, and we were never meant to do that. And so
Wow.
it's been my journey with Jesus over the last year and a half. And he's had me in some really hard places, but that's where the poetry has come out of. And
Right.
a lot of people won't read poetry. They might listen to a song. My friend sat before the Lord, and God told her that she was to take some of my poems and put them to music.
Yeah.
So she did that in the last year, I guess. So that's been a tremendous blessing too. Just glory to the Lord, because I never imagined in my lifetime something like this would happen. But you know, Krissy, do you remember that prophecy that you gave to? And I'm thinking it was Joe Bowman. I'm not sure. The hidden ones are being called out of caves. It's time for the lovers of Jesus to come out of chambers. And when you said that day, that like just blew me over, because I knew that that's what God was doing with me. Because I was raised on a farm, like I said, with two sets of twin girls, and 4 years apart. And we were always comparing ourselves to each other. And I felt I was never enough. I never measured up in anything. But now it's like, I am enough. I'm enough. We're enough, you know, because we're created in his image for his purpose. And so that's my message, and I'm sticking to it.
This is amazing.
Yeah. You did get the memo. And clearly you have clarified your message, and not just have you written a book on poetry, and now you're editing and it's getting published, and you're just right there. You're just at the tail end of this, closing a chapter per se. But through this process, you clearly have clarified your message, and you understand what God is doing in you, and you understand how to flip that script and use it to help other people. Because the language that you're using, you're talking about how to take people out of something and take them into something. You're using that language. So that's becoming worked into who you are. You're assimilating it. It's good.
Thank you. Well, it's been quite a journey. That's not always fun. I have a few things that I talk about real quick. I promise it's not long. Okay. It's like real raw stuff. Like, here's some of the things that my poetry is about: getting hurt, cries of the heart, fear, holding a grudge, identity theft, dark seasons, tough stuff, tearing down strongholds, calm me down inside, anguish, waiting, angel armies, drop those chains, hear his voice, ragamuffins, seasons change, servants and cinnamon rolls, eyes of the Lord, your voice, his loving kindness, see you everywhere, his return, his favorite kid, on eagle's wings, love, rest, suffering, and union.
Now, these are all chapter titles.
No, that's some of my poetry.
Those are the titles of your poetry.
Some of them are chapter titles, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need to know the one about the servants and the cinnamon rolls. That's
pretty good. Yeah, God gave me that. I don't know, a couple weeks ago. It's like, well, yeah.
Wow. And you put that in your book? Those are all in the book that we're doing? Yeah. That's amazing. I'm curious how you flow. Like, you know, are they individual type poems that people can read and be encouraged on a certain topic, or does it flow one into the next? Is it progressive?
The first one is Cries of the Heart, and then it goes into encouragement, and I've forgotten them all, but it's 10: love, rest, suffering, union, a wide variety of topics, 10 topics.
Okay.
Wow.
But some of them, they just have to be linked there because I don't know what else to do with them. But, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I think people will be encouraged.
For sure.
Yeah, it's been a hard year and a half, but I have known beyond a doubt that that I was to be a messenger.
Yep.
And I was to proclaim this message.
That's right.
And we need to hear it. We need to know that he's real. We need to know that he helps us in the everyday stuff. He's in our journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, is there anything that we can help you with today, Sharon? A pressing need that you have that we can help unlock?
I did have, for my last book, I copyrighted all my work. And then the book was published. Is that this? How does that work with copywriting? I know I sent a whole bunch of my poems off to Library of Congress, to get them published. But I'm thinking, well, is that really necessary? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. When we publish your book, it's going to all be copywritten, and it will even have the copyright on it. So you're good. You're covered.
That's good.
And there'll even be a little face, a little bobblehead of mine, my mean face, right next to the copyright, so they'll know. Yeah, they'll know.
That's great.
You're totally protected. You're totally covered. We do all that as part of the publishing.
Okay. Let's see. I have a website because I have another book. Do I need another website?
What is your website now? What's the domain?
sspoetry.net.
Yeah, you should have something that is more along your name as an author. So if Sharon Swain is available, a .com, a .net, a .org, preferably a .com or even a .me. But it should be to you as the author, because this is not your one and only book. You're going to have more offers. You're going to have more things that you write, that you produce, that you publicize, and things that you do as a messenger. So you should have something that is specific to you. And then Sharon Swain has specific offers and books and things of that.
Even though it's called SS Poetry, it should be another one.
Yeah, I do. I think eventually, like, it should be just SharonSwain.com, and then from SharonSwain.com, you have all of your content, your blog, but then all of your different books, all of your different offers, all of your content on that one website.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, because you may make a CD that's audio with that music underneath, and spoken word style your poetry. And even though that's still poetry, it's it's an audio, it's something people can listen to and they can soak in. And SS Poetry, you just don't want to limit yourself. So definitely your name, and then that broadens what you're because God's going to have you do all kinds of fun things. And
and are you going to do anything other than poetry?
Well, the recording studio that did the album with my 8 poems, apparently he's hoping something else might come from this new book. So I don't know what God's got up his sleeve.
Yeah, that's another reason, just maybe for the domain and the branding purpose, because SS Poetry is a little limiting. It doesn't really tell you enough. Nobody's going to know what the SS stands for unless they know you.
Yeah.
And then if it's only poetry, now if that's all you were going to do, and you thought, well, for the next 10, 15 years, I'm only going to do poetry, you probably could do SharonSwainPoetry.com or something like that. But I do like the idea of it being your first name, last name, that ties you in as an author with segmented different books, writings, and offers.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. You guys are the best.
There we go.
You're the best. You're the bestest. Thank you so much for being on. Thank you for being family. Thank you for being a part of unlocking your book, and thank you for publishing with us. We're super excited. Can't wait to see and can't wait to read more about servants and cinnamon rolls.
I know. Go read it. Yeah.
I think I'll get myself a copy. I think I will.
Thank you so much, Sharon.
We're
cheering you on. We love you. Bless you.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, I know that we have other people that have written and are publishing poetry, but this will be the first poetry book that'll be getting published. So super exciting. It's making me hungry. I keep thinking about cinnamon rolls, and I don't eat cinnamon rolls, but now I'm like, I need a cinnamon roll. How about you? Anybody else need a cinnamon roll?
Yeah, I'll take one over here. Yeah.
Jedi Krissy, would you like a cinnamon roll?
Now let me speak into this Jedi thing for a minute. I need to bring clarification here. Okay.
Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know it. He's muting me. Stop it.
Sorry.
I know what Jedis are.
What are they?
I know what they are from Star Wars. I cannot break it down for you, but I conceptually know what they are. I wasn't sure.
You looked it up on Google while we were.
Yeah. I've been live the whole time. I just wasn't sure how my actions were similar to that of a Jedi. That's it. I just didn't know what I did that made you think that highly of me. So there we go. That's it. Okay. But I know what they are because I watched Star Wars one time.
Yeah. Well, you see, as you're our operations manager and you're like a systems, administrator galore. So you got an A+ in that, but you definitely are somewhere in the D- realm of actually knowing your Star Wars. But that's okay. We forgive you. Everybody just pray for Krissy this weekend. God bless.